Yes, we're learning much with advanced technologies to share from our creation from one side to the other. This for the day of the week is welcomeness, hospitality. After listening to the Pope, Leo, and the other words that come aside talk later on, which is giving from oneself. So losing from oneself all the attachments. And another word he mentioned was of being detached from all that. Things to be trusting in God and knowing that He's in good hands, trusting in others to welcome them. We have the Synonymous, is the first week of the month, is always about the vibe, and we'll welcome you. Going to study here a little bit with the Synonymous as well, the Declaration of Independence and the news to celebrate what we have to invite. So yes, offer hospitality is above. The branches that part from welcome is wanted, great, from above. On the sides, pleasing, accept gladly. Greeting. You put welcome with the, like being welcome. On both sides, you feel the same pleasure when you welcome another and feel welcome. Yeah? It's the same vibration that you are sharing from trauma and not confessing from your own ego trips, at the same time laughing about your own ego trips. Allow it to submerge. Have fun with your ego so you can see it in order to confess. It doesn't matter if you're a priest. There are many priests that are holy and pure, and some of them are also pure and still confessing, watching constantly from where this comes from. But it doesn't mean because you're a priest, you are above the law to judge others and think you have the word of God and no other. We are living on times of freedom of expression, and we will understand throughout the multiverse the patterns of each verse. So, we are here to welcome them like flowers in the Garden of Eden. We're here to learn and welcome them and also make characters to dress with it, to understand. You must understand also all that which you have killed and burned in the name of God, to confess yourself as well in the name of all the priests before you. Jesus had nothing to do with that. But I bet you that Jesus might have been reborn many times to fight until the end, forgetting what he was about as well. This is my story. You're welcome to have your story. This is why freedom of expression is coming out and it's healing. So it is the same for each person and spot in this world. So if you have come here to judge and fight so everybody follows your God and discriminate others, then know that you're only talking to Christians that are already Catholic. You belong to people that might return to Catholicism and were Christians and grew up with that. But you cannot transform people into Christianity like that. There are many steps towards love, to welcome within yourself. So it's good to clean yourself as well. And you can keep fighting until the end. And just talk to those people, but you're then teaching them as well to be close-minded. We are now needing more Christians to open their hearts around the world to welcome others, especially, and protect those who are fighting just to have their little piece of land as Christians, whether they're married or not, whatever happened to them, as to any human being as well, in the same category. But if you are going to put yourself and what the Bible says above others, then you are not a Christian or priest. You cannot convert yourself. For the times of today, what's going on? So priests are very happy to share the word and their gifts, to honor each other for what is most needed. That is a beautiful brotherhood. But there are also brothers and sisters around the world, not just you, supporting you as well to be better. And that's how you do it. Because you create demons by casting people away and damaging them by thinking that God does not love us or you don't love us. But I have enough love for everyone and for you as well to grow up, welcome more in a heart that is full. I've listened to you, being suspicious to how people talk. People that are also priests. You judge your own priests that are friends and give you trust to talk to you. And you come in multimedia judging other priests. So let me judge you as well for judging them. Of course, it's normal to be traumatized these times, thinking that way. So the more love you have, the more we can work. So let's prepare for this week. As today's Monday still. well, the first day of July. I recount it's Wednesday. So we have 5 days of hospitality and welcomeness. From the word wanted, is split and invited. At home, wanted. From great, offer hospitality, receive with, bid welcome. From pleasing, gladly receive, pleasurable, agreeable, justifying, accept, gladly, splits in, approve of, be pleased by, give the thumb, be glad about, express pleasure. From greeting, below, acceptance, hail, hospitality, salutation. There are other synonymous as meet, say hello to, usher in, roll out the red carpet for, receive with open arms, welcome, hail, did I say embrace, appreciate, approve of, express satisfaction, accept gladly, reception, acceptance, entertainment, and free. The antonyms are rejection, snub, cold shoulder, ostracism, rebuffed, exclusion, slight. And of course, that is self-defense mechanism from trauma and pain. And is also related with the covenant of the Jews to put a selected group apart to triangulate others as if they're better, they're allied. And understanding why we do these triangulations, so we welcome others to make them think they're superior by casting another away. So they unite against an enemy, saying they're dirty, they are unworthy. And then we welcome others, and we need to understand where this comes from. This comes from very old, ancient. So the Jews learned this from the Egyptians as well. And the Egyptians might have learned that as well from somebody else. Public funding for royals will double in 3 years. Sovereign grant to hit 100 million. King will not move into palace. He and William revealed tax bill. That was in the front page of the Times, 26, even though we are on the 1st of July. I wrote the paper today and left. Wealth tax won't work, advisor tells Burnham. By Oliver Grace, policy editor. Stephen Swingford, political editor. Andy Burnham is being urged by one of his most senior economic advisors to abandon plans for wealth taxes because they can be easily gamed and do not raise a significant amount of money. The former mayor of Greater Manchester has previously said that work is overtaxed while assets are undertaxed. It has led to suggestions he could choose to increase capital gain tax, bringing it in line with income tax. Lord 𝕨𝐴𝐼𝐴 of Gatley, who is expected to join Burnham in number 10, warned that such a policy could backfire, generating little money for the Treasury and deterring investment. I am very opposed to the general rule of wealth taxes, 𝕨𝐴𝐼 told LBC. I think they are very easy to be gamed and avoided, so I don't think they are likely to raise a lot of revenue. So they will be able to map it, of course. People will feel joy to pay when they see where the money of taxes go and the projects they support. Maybe some borrows would like to invest to go in the moon or in Mars, or like to be part of some space station because their neighborhood is well balanced already by itself and they have extra. Who knows, maybe they would like to as well support a country in need. It's some village because they have chosen that they already have everything balanced and have achieved a high state of universality. This is, of course, science fiction into reality. As soon as people can see the transparency of their taxes and will be able to map the world, seeing the countries in need and the boroughs, the communities that are sufficient and more than that. We see they have made a globe in DC and in Dubai, but it's not standing above the earth to see the South Pole. This is for everyone to start at the same time, the main goals of each continent and culture. So while one is inviting with the spark of the ideas of the creators, the creator, you're not working at the same pace by communicating as well at the same time. As we invite you to invite others. Hundreds fear death after double earthquake in Venezuela. All right. So the last paragraph says from the 2 pages, but relationship remains delicate in recent weeks. There have been murmurings from within the left-wing Chavismo movement, which has governed Venezuela for the past 27 years, and to which Rodriguez still purports to be allied, that her causing up to the country, which just snatched their leader, was destroying the revolution. Some still believe in words such as cowardice and treason have been bandied about in the emotionally charged aftermath of this earthquake, especially if 𝕨𝐴𝐸 is not seen to solve the grave situation. Venezuela will enter another unpredictable phase, and those voices could get louder. Of course, after such drama, catastrophe. In big print, it says Trump's help for his, between comillas, new great friends risks unrest. Welcome to the jungle. The Declaration of Independence, documenting U.S. history. So we're preparing also this week what happened the last 100 years around the world, where humanity used to work in tribes and kingdoms as well, and created a more of an independent government where you could just go to the wardrobe and what you're gonna dress. It's your people to bring you that which is based on these colors, and you just write on in a more pleasant manner, without having anyone to dress you. Recording important events. I used to have this copy when I was in Manhattan, and I had it framed in my studio in Chelsea, downtown. This copy of the Declaration of Independence suffered wear and tear in the years since it was first printed. Throughout history, people have created records of special events, official documents such as birth certificates, record an important event in the life of a particular person, such as websites, domains, and creations itself. Other official documents, such as the Declaration of Independence, record important events in the history of a nation. These documents are called primary sources. When historians study the past, they prefer to use primary sources. Primary sources provide first-hand account of what happened. They include official documents, letters, diaries, speeches, photographs, drawings, and artifacts. Artifacts are items such as furniture, clothing, and buildings. Now we have internet records as well, besides other recordings that are digitalized and safeguarded. So we have a shared consciousness. This is also about a shared consciousness in the practice of our independence. This is the book. You might find many books, of course. Using primary sources, newspaper articles, pamphlets, and posters are also primary sources as podcasters. We can see from the date that an original information has been made. We can see the source of where it started. Luckily, some are treasured and protected. They might end up in museums and libraries where historians can read them to get a glimpse into life in other times and places. Even if you are in outer space, you can see the transits of the world and where you can count if you need some material to ship to your station or planet is to deliver back. We are creating a technology that's going to be used for the future mapping of the universe as well. It has the same mechanics and interaction that eventually it will work by itself with artificial intelligence as we generate it right now. From an individual perspective, human evolution also is learning to share field of intelligence and love. We respect each other, love each other, care for each other, and grow in a land, a field, an energy field with the air we share that is clean, pure, and everlasting, nourished, recycled. Its earth still has vitamins, which is recycled from every person with its own doings. This is what I'm telling you between the paragraphs of this ancient book and Independent Day. So in one quarter of a millennium, we have acquired an exercise of independence, more or less. We still have countries where they don't know what is independence, of course. Not that in our countries is respected, is to have our rights respected. We still have slavery everywhere, and rules who bond people to do things they don't want to because of the fear of people's judgment. Does not mean that is freedom. Artifacts such as guns, ships, furniture, and clothing also provide an accurate picture of the past. For example, when historians study a musket or cannonball, they gain a better understanding of how war fought. Understanding the small details helps them form a clearer picture of what happened. Presenting primary sources. Many original documents require special protection. They are kept in museums or in special library collections called archives. The original copy of the Declaration of Independence is sorted at the National Archives in Washington, D.C. Specially designed case protects it from theft or damage. However, there are many copies of the Declaration of Independence. If the words in the copy are exactly like the original, then the copy is also considered a primary source. That is true for all our official documents. Secondary sources. Secondary sources. Historians use primary sources. They do research. Primary sources present a picture of what it was like in the past. However, when historians write a new book or article based on those primary sources, they are creating secondary sources. Encyclopedia articles, textbooks are secondary sources. So is this book. Secondary sources provide important information on particular people, places, and events. Some primary sources, such as diaries, letters, and historic newspapers, are not always easy to find or to use. It may take years of study for a historian to collect detailed information about the past. Historians write new books and articles using the information found in primary sources. Now let's see what year this book was first edited. You can see that there's not much recorded then from the primary sources into internet. So its first print was in 2013 in Chicago, Illinois. 2011, original illustrations, global library, illustrated by Oxford designers and illustrators, picture research of Tracy Cummings. It was printed and bound in China. So let's say that, yeah. So the Declaration of Independence, its source from United States, Declaration of Independence, juvenile literature, United States politics and government, juvenile literature, United States politics and government, 17075 to 17083, juvenile literature. So this was in 2013 that was gathered. So this process was made from 2011 to 2013. That's how they broke down chapters. So record their important events. Why declare independence? Writing the declaration. Reaching agreement. A closer look. Sharing the news. Celebrating the 4th of July. Presenting the declaration. Timeline. Glossary. Find out more. An index. Okay, let's go to the timeline. You can celebrate your independence and at the same time say thank you for what you are born, right? So from the year 160, 1607, the colony of Virginia is founded. So I'll say that actually America is more than 250 years, right? Is 400 years and 19. 400 years and 19. So we should be celebrating that. It looks younger than it is, isn't it? I mean, when you put 250 to 490, it's like didn't grow so quick. There was a lot of work being put there. All right. So there are many dates here before the year 17776. 1776, because the copies were printed on the 4th and 5th of the Declaration. The copies of the Declaration. And they are arguments of when it was presented to the people and when it was signed as a creation that's been agreed. So you can see here important dates. Let's honor all the dates, all right? Which continue even until 180 and 70. From the past to the future. Unknown future as we are creating it right now. 1607, the colony of Virginia is founded. Look at that, Virginia. What a name. The colony of Georgia is founded in 1732. in 1754 and 63, the French and Indian War is fought. In 1065, the Stamp Act is passed. Let's also celebrate the many years that the Native Americans have been there. Wow, it's 11:11 p.m. They were set 500 years. During 500 years, they were there as well. The Towns and Hand Acts are passed from 1767. In 1773, colonists carry out the Boston Tea Party. In 1774, the Intolerable Acts are passed. So this is all happening very quickly from 173, started from the taxes of the tea that didn't want to pay back. So let's say from 170-74 to 176, all this is happening in 2 years, in a time lapse of 2 years. And the Constitution was written on 170-87. I wish mankind could understand each other in better terms, to retire, be truly loved, be worth it of its own life with others as well. So God would be pleased with the invitation He gave us as part of His creation. He would fill the world under His roof. So all this is a bit boring, to be honest. All the states' Declaration of Independence is printed with signatures in 177. Like 1 year later, after it was printed, the copies. I guess they were looking for important figures. Some of these guys were not rebellions, of course. The people of not rebellions are the ones who are fighting, just surviving to make something out of themselves. But not all are the same kind. I don't think we need to destroy to constitute. When we delegate, people don't need to steal. The upper high class prefers people to steal, but they're still controllable. So they expect everyone to steal. Because they are afraid that if they have more power, they would take over. Yeah. So that's how they took over our work and home. Because my mother didn't want to give power to the people that work there. and give them a place to live there. And because she didn't delegate power in her own greed, they took over everything. There was not enough strength to be supported as one. So if you only let your daughter take from you everything, the one that never worked, right? You can tell me how you end up. So well, this is pretty much like the invitation of what this week we're going to see a lot of celebration, and I really wish the Native Americans are celebrated as well, especially, and to honor all the years as well, where America has been found, with its freedom, especially to the world, and those people that came from Europe, of course, as migrants. I went to South America. They're telling the story of immigrants from Europe, why they fled away in times of war as immigrants to find a land of their own, and before the times of war to have their sense of property. When people have their sense of property and can put their point of what they need, they earn and pay back, because they are learning to express trust from one another, whatever is from credit and tax, to value what they share in commune as well as independently. So there is the pursuit of happiness by your sense of property. Because in Europe, everything was owned by other people for many generations. You had no right to have your own job, nor land, house. And America was a dream of a new world. I am American as well. We had independence in Venezuela thanks to the British, who supported their independence as well, and are still protecting Venezuela and helping them. I never really wanted to own Venezuela. We remember in the records as allies and friends to their own independence. Is that correct? So it is beautiful to see the independence of women as well, the independence of black men and women in places where there used to be slavery, but they earn through their ancestors a better continent and world of their own, where they have more rights than in Africa itself. So it's good for them also to appreciate the work of their ancestors, because everyone was a slave. Europe had tortures. The Europeans endured with their ancestors more tortures and punishments and going to jail with invisible chains, or lose it all or die. So it's good to just, it's not about who has more pity play or who had more of anything. Just as a reminder that we are all looking towards freedom at the same time as our fellow brothers and sisters are celebrating the Declaration of Independence birthday, to also respect the independence of other countries, of course, right? As a reminder. So many countries are not respecting because they want to make war weapons, as NATO is also, and US investing in weapons. So this is to be considered in the world map of weapons. The Atlas is welcoming you to be honest with your own independence. So there is more goodness than bad, and let's celebrate that. Because sometimes it's like too much freedom, don't you think? You really look at it, too much freedom. You can end up believing anything, changing all your personality and identity because of those beliefs, just to belong to another group. So feeling welcome is something we cherish from going back home, from our parents and their friends, in our school, in the friends in our school, our belongingness, in the stories of our ancestors that will represent alive or dead, in spirit and heart. Freedom is being fought since Jesus came, really. You let me know if you have people that fought for freedom as the Christians did after what Jesus did. We don't need to fight for freedom anymore as we see the world, its needs, and what we have is immense. I also like to put my spot there that I need my children in a greater house. I'm not going to change anything unless I have somebody that can change it for me. Just do what I can in the best of my capacity to clean my brain from all the news. As I lose so much from myself just to be here. I've lost connection with my friends, role play friends. We have stopped role playing. I have lost many years away from my family. Not because of any reason to be here. I can be here anyways with my family. But I could have gained more money to be with my family if I didn't put my brain to do the mapping of recycling for McDonald's, which is still pending, to help recycle with government, because it takes a lot of people to do. It takes a village to help, not just chain corporation, multinational, to help locally with the best design they have. It just needs a little more to be perfect. So patience one day will get to the holders who manage the decisions of what McDonald's is to do with its CEO, to be ordered to do so with the mapping of recycling and how we can cooperate to put it on its own mapping, scaling until it's perfect, just to not consume so much papers, So it doesn't cost much to just wash it, to be honest, as I've been studying from within. And the multiverse, from role play to virtual reality, all the mapping of the station as well. Everything works with the same. I can help from a private source because there's too much wars of hackers. So I just really wish that it works for everyone. We need the characters to be registered for each multiverse independently because each character is unique in each multiverse. It will break the tissue of reality. If it's the truth of the created story is corrupted. And we will notice as we protect a source of intelligence from each culture and continent, so it's not corrupted. The white tech titans. And I know all its connections, even though I do not belong to them. And I know by source of memory what they're about. I am with them and I am also against them for certain reasons that are not in the behalf of humanity and the good care of humanity as their own consciousness to take responsibility and honor those who have more as they also respect their portion of responsibility to manage their own in return. But this cannot run through their own data systems because they will be corrupted. You will wish for the best, that they give you a tax return, that they will pay you back, that they will give you a piece of cake, but they're going to corrupt everything. They will just take all the tea. Yeah, and everything you invited them, as they've been doing for these past 5, 6 years. Unless somebody comes out from USA that's willing to break through the old dictatorship and murder of people, because it's been investing in Israel. It needs a couple of good people that are from our generation. Most of Europeans don't want these wars, of course, our generations. They must invest to protect, of course, and to protect, you can also attack. You have to end with the sickness that started attacking. Putin doesn't have any love or trust to give up anything up from himself to create a better world from his part. Most probably he will be taking over because of this choice he had. Most probable, most probable, he might not find a business to give the land he has taken to be participant on creating a technological mapping of his own. He needs dialogue to be respected and regard, to start from scratch and safeguard the values of its people, to learn these technologies as how to report and gather from their own taxes as well. But for that, you need freedom of expression to put what is what in a certain trust. that it can always be checked by other people. So you will see in the map the areas that have conflicts and they're learning to report what it is as it is. And it needs many years of practice. It's very simple to just report what it is as it is. And it does relink. I wish you the best and enjoy your life. Bye.